Hello everyone and welcome to today's webinar. Just before we start, can you type in yes in the chat box if you can hear me? I haven't shared the screen, so I shouldn't be seeing my screen yet. Good morning everyone, or good afternoon, depending where you're from. Would you be able to just type in the chat box if you can hear my voice before we start the webinar? All right everyone. Again, just since we haven't got any confirmation on the audio yet, would you be able to type in the chat box yes if you are able to hear my voice, and then we can start the webinar. Okay, great. Well, thank you everyone for attending the webinar today. We're excited to cover some of the new features that we released a couple days ago for our March release. Actually, on this release, there was a few features that majority have come from essentially the feedback of you and others. I highly recommend continuing your great feedback, as it's helping us develop features that can satisfy your needs and the others. During this release, we have a few functions to be able to help with you becoming more efficient in some of the existing challenges and questions that you get from your customers. So to start, we're going to share my screen with you guys, and you should see actually my computer screen right now. And again, if you can type in the chat box if you're able to see that. Great. So to start with, one of the features that I'm very, very excited about is the schedule function. The schedule function gives you the ability to be able to see the customer schedule at any given time. We're going to go into one of your customers that we have. And now if you go into the schedule option, which is a function that we have had before in the past. In the past, we actually had this specific view, where it's called the list view, where you can see what classes, what programs, what events has the customer registered into. And then from there, you will be able to conduct some actions, such as canceling the event. In this release, we actually upgraded this functionality to include a little bit more tools, and that is enabling a calendar view. As you see, the calendar view give you the opportunity to see the customer schedule on a calendar view. And what you'll be able to do from here is to first identify exactly what days in the week perhaps they're actually attending or coming to the business. Or in addition to that, you will be able to run this view for any range of dates and print it for the customer. So one of the feedback that we had on a regular basis was customers were coming to the front desk asking about their schedule, but it was very difficult to be able to provide that to them. I'll provide, let's say, kind of a refrigerator magnet kind of a view that you want to be able to provide them so they can have it available to them, knowing exactly what days in the week they should come in. So what we did to be able to actually satisfy that need, now we have the ability for you to print this calendar for whatever range of date. And what the system does, it generates an actual PDF file. The PDF file is essentially a PDF schedule that the customer will be able to print and be able to use that as a reference point for their for their schedule. Now, in a case that you actually have a range that's more than 1 month, what the system does, it actually generates multiple page print view or calendar view that each page will represent a specific month. So if I had it for a range between March to, let's say, June, I would have gotten an actual PDF file that would have included 3 pages. Now from there, as you get essentially the attachments, you will be able to, utilize that and email it to the customer perhaps, or or just print it off to hand it to them. Now, in addition to this specific view, which I'm looking at a schedule for one individual customer, we also have an ability for you to see what we call the family schedule. So as long as you actually are on the family view, and as you notice, I just click on the family name on the customer, you will be able to click schedule. And this way, you actually will have option to decide which family member or if all family members schedule you would like to see. So in this specific example, this is a family of 3 people, Adam Alpha, Eve Alpha, and a Bill Alpha. If I check all 3 boxes, as you see, I would see everyone's schedule in one view, and which will be coordinated or essentially color coordinated. So very, very useful function. No matter what industry you're from, you're essentially from yoga, martial arts, or even Parks and Rec customers, this functionality will be very useful for you to be able to easily communicate to your customers of their schedule. In addition to that, for you to really identify what days in the week they're coming in by simply seeing their schedule. Now, the beautiful part of this is that this functionality is also available on the member view. So for those of you who basically have their online portal available for their customers, the customers will be able to log into their online portal and see a similar view. So they will be able to see their schedule and actually print their schedule by themselves as well. And the schedule is always up to date. They're live, essentially reflecting their bookings within PerfectMind. So as soon as you book them into a new course, new program, the actual changes will be made without any issues. All right. So this is one of my favorite features that we released in this basically past release. Another function that we have released is ability to punch down and punch up. A little bit easier than we had before. And also adding more functionality for the customers who are from essentially cities and recreation centers. So in the past, we had the ability for you to be able to press edit and change the number of sessions left for a punch pass circumstances. So let's say if I had a 10 punch pass private lesson or 10 punch pass swimming, or really depending on or yoga even. In the past, in order for you to reduce or increase the number, you actually had to press edit and change the field manually by typing in a number. Now, although that worked, However, it had its own challenges. Number one, it was not user-friendly, so not every customer was being able to find the functionality easily. And number two, it was not connected to the accounting module of PerfectMind, meaning that the right revenue records will not be introduced for those of you who do a curl accounting and are using the accounting module within PerfectMind. So as of this release, we've actually added the plus and minus buttons, which will allow you to be able to reduce the sessions or increase the sessions as you wish. And what this does, in addition to changing the number, it does complete the accounting portion of basically the punch pass in the background correctly. All right. The other module that we have released, it's an upgrade to an existing functionality that we had, and I know many of you guys in this specific webinar and many of our clients in the past have asked for this, or historically. And that is the definition of past due or delinquent invoices. As many of you are aware, historically PerfectMind only marked invoices overdue or delinquent, which were processed via billing direct. So, in an example, if an invoice was due for a certain month, so let's say March 15th, Adam Alpha actually had an invoice due, which the payment method that was used for that invoice or marked for that invoice was cash or check, or perhaps credit card or EFT, but you didn't, the customer did not have a billing direct system in place to be able to automatically bill them. What happened in the past is that invoice was never marked as delinquent. It was showing up in overdue reports for in-house payments under the report section, but the membership box was never becoming read. This past due function was never being basically added, and also the past due amount was not being reflected on dashboard or other areas such as that. Now, as of this release, we give you the ability for you to be able to complete that action and allowing the invoices to automatically become past due or overdue, even in situations where they're not automatically being processed. Now, this is a function that we did not activate by default. And the reason we didn't activate it is because we don't want to disrupt the business for those of you who potentially have automated billing automated emails set up for overdues, or maybe have automated tasks, or a lot of different things that could be affected by just activating this function. So what we've done, this is an option. If you are interested to activating the overdue in-house invoices in your database, it is something that you would have to contact us at this point and we can activate it for you. As soon as we activate, all the previous invoices that are again marked as in-house but are past due will automatically change to overdue, which will result the past due amount to show up, the membership box to turn to the appropriate color, in this case red, and also for the dashboard to reflect that number. Again, please note that this could cause automated emails to go out, depending on if you have automated emails. So it does require some attention of cleaning up maybe some of the overdue invoices in the past that you don't want to actually deal with anymore. But having that function enabled will give you the opportunity to see your past dues at any given time, collect payment for them, as you see here, on using the past due functions, or having the automated emails to function and basically is sent out. All right. So another function that we have released is an ability for you to improve on creating series of classes. So as you know, events can be created as occurrences or as series. So what we have is, for example, I can create a new event as I typically do. Let's say it's a class, so I'm going down to my classes and I choose a flow yoga, for example, class. And I can actually, schedule the first dates, and under the repeat section, I'm able to actually repeat that. This is, existing functionality that we've had for the past, years actually. So I can have this event be on a weekly basis on Thursdays and let's say Tuesdays, and go on for let's say 8 weeks. So this could be a class, this could be a program, this could be a variety of different types of events. Now, what we changed in this case, we understand now there are certain classes that you want to make changes to the series. So let's say that it's Mondays or Tuesdays and Thursdays in this case for 8 weeks. However, for one of those days, you want to either remove that date or maybe change the time. Maybe for the second Thursday, the class doesn't happen on the typical time that you have allocated for 11:30. It happens at 2 p.m. just because of availability, or perhaps just a specific day, maybe the business opens up a little bit later. So in the past, what you had to do, you had to create this class and then go edit the specific occurrences and move them around. And there was some also limitations to that as well, or perhaps even excluding certain days in the month or certain days within the occurrence. So what we've done as of this release is giving you the ability to see the sessions. So in this case, because this class happens for basically for 8 occurrences, this just says 8 sessions. What I'm able to do, I'm able to click View Sessions, where the system shows me every single day or every single occurrence within that series. Now, why is this useful? It's useful for a variety of different things. Number one is I'm able to, on March 29th, which is one of the occurrences, instead of 11:30, maybe change this time to 12:30. This is just one day, one essentially occurrence, which is different than every other occurrence. So you'll be able to do that as you're creating the series in the beginning, giving you a lot of more flexibility in creating the classes, how they should be created. In addition to that, you will be able to change the instructor that's assigned to this class, and also the facility where this class is conducted for that specific day. Now, by me making that change, something interesting happened, which is actually another great functionality of the system and shows you the power of PerfectMind. What happened is, as I changed the instructor, as you see, I chose my name, Nima Jazbi. As you see here, the specific pick list or the option turned red. The reason this turned red is because Nima Jazbi for this day and this time is not available. It's not available maybe because I'm not scheduled to work that day based on my staff schedule, or because perhaps I'm teaching another session. And as you see here, the icon on the left-hand side from the check mark changed to an exclamation mark. You can actually click on the exclamation mark and you can see more detail. So this says selected instructor, so Nima Jazbi, is overlapped by another event called summer camp. So I am, or that specific instructor is teaching a summer camp at that given time. So he can't complete, or attend or conduct that specific session. So this gives you the ability to choose a different person, and if that person is available, the check mark becomes available. This availability or conflict management, which we have built into the system, it's a very complex system which checks a variety of different statistics and information in the back. It does check the availability of the organization, the instructor, the facilities. It works live on the screen. It works based on the time, it works based on the instructor, and also based on the facility. So let's say another example or business case is that on March 29th, perhaps I don't want to have an event at all. Maybe that day is a testing date, build testing for the martial arts studios in the webinar today. Or perhaps that's an instructor training workshop that day for the yoga studios, so you don't want to actually have a session that day at all for your members. Or perhaps it's just a business you want to close that flow for another event. What you're able to do, you're able to exclude that day completely from the event. So what this does, it actually appropriately adjusts the fee for that specific series as well. So as if originally the fee of the course was put in in consideration because of 8 occurrences. Now that you change it to 7, obviously the fee has to be changed, and that's automatically changed. Obviously, you will still have the last step to be able to confirm that fee and be able to manually override it if you need to. A new functionality that was released, which is very, very important for those of you who are continuously making changes on the schedule and try to fit in the schedule due to your busy schedules at the studio, is the ability for you to undo an exclusion that we didn't have that functionality before. And we had that request from many of you in the past that how can I undo if I've excluded a certain event? So this was happening basically, and again, on a regular basis. Maybe, again, you were booking an event originally, that day was not available, so you excluded it. But for some reason, that day now becomes available. Maybe the workshop gets canceled. Maybe the testing gets moved. And what you're able to do now is simply, at any given time, edit the series again, click on, the view sessions, and be able to undo the exclusion and perhaps exclude a different day. And then the rest of the steps would be basically very similar to the past. So you would be able to press save, which basically the system saves the series according to the standards and the functions that or the days that you selected. So if you had excluded one of those occurrences, if you review your schedule, you will have 7 occurrences essentially created instead of the 8. All right. One other function, and this is one of the last features that we're going to cover on the webinar today, and that is about cancellations and really dealing with the cancellations a little bit better. I think one thing that we never, PerfectMind always required to improve on is really dealing with the cancellations, the cancellation reasons, and be able to manage those lists. As you know, cancellations happen in the membership business, in no matter of what type of industry you're from. Cancellations do happen. It's unfortunate, but it does happen. That's just the nature of the game, and essentially the type of business we're in. But we're never able to actually improve ourselves if we don't understand the reasons of cancellations. It's very different if someone cancels a membership because they're joining a different program versus they're canceling their membership because they financially cannot afford it, or they're canceling because they're moving away to a different city. It's very important for us to be able to track that information, to be able to analyze that information and make business decisions is going to help us with our business and further improving our business. At the end of the day, all of us have the same goal, to have more active customers to ensure that our revenues is increased. So to be able to do that, it's important to open the front door to getting more leads and converting more leads to students, but also it's very important to close the back door. In order for you to close the back door, the first thing it comes to for you to track why people are leaving, so you can make the necessary changes to ensure that more people stay with your business. So what we've done, we've introduced a new feature, a new function for you to be able to track the cancellation reasons. And this tracking the cancellation reasons, it works for both courses and programs and also memberships, because both are important for you to be able to track. For courses, so if someone enrolls into an instructor training program for your, and they cancel and they want to leave the course. It's important to know why are they leaving. Was it because it was too difficult for them? Was it because it was too expensive for them? Was it because they essentially don't want to become an instructor anymore? Or any other reasons that could come up. Same goes again with memberships as well. So we actually have created a function for you to be able to manage both. To be able to utilize this function, first you would have to go into the settings area. Depending on basically what version of the application you're using, you will go under martial arts, you will go under yoga, you will go under Parks and Rec, and you will see a new option here called reasons for cancellations. This is a view that's going to allow you to be able to add more reasons, more options for people to select. Some of the options are there by default, but you are able to add more options and edit and delete the existing options. Firstly, before talking about the options, you have the ability to choose where you want this option to show up. So for what type of bookings you want to keep track of cancellation reasons. You have the ability to keep track of for appointments. Appointments would be things like introductory lessons, private lessons. Single booking are for the martial arts studios for really almost every class or for the drop-in classes. Those are considered as single booking. For courses or series, so for camps, for instructor training program, for workshops, for these swimming lessons, for any type of course that the person registers into. For facility booking, for those of you who utilize the facility booking function, this is if you have a rental, someone who has rented a specific floor or specific room or specific field and wants to actually cancel the rental. So you'll be able to actually track the cancellation reasons for that. And lastly, for memberships, almost everyone in the room today, no matter the type of the business, have some sort of membership that you offer. And this will give you the ability to be able to keep track of those membership cancellations as well. So the next step is for you to be able to add new reasons. So what you're able to do is to simply click on add a new record and add any reasons of your choice. So let's say financial reasons. And click update. So now I've added a new option that can be selected upon the cancellation. Now if at any point I want to go and update the wording, I can always go back and update that and press update. So what that does now, after I've added that option, let's go to a customer. Let's go to our customer here, Adam. Actually, this might not allow us to terminate. And now this is a function, as soon as I press terminate, the system gives me the ability to refund or not refund it. This is a function that we released last month. This is an ability for you to charge a cancellation fee and also prorate a refund to them. So what that means is you can charge a flat fee or percentage of, for your cancellation. A lot of businesses have a cancellation fee. People shouldn't just have the ability to cancel. You have to pay something. So you can actually build in those cancellation fees within the system that you automatically actually select for you. In addition to that, you would be able to refund what they haven't used yet. So if they have 36 sessions remaining in this case, you can actually refund them the 36 sessions and only charge them the four sessions they use, plus a cancellation fee. So that's the overall functionality that we have. We have great help thoughts on how to actually enable this if you missed the last month's webinar, and if you have not had a chance or opportunity to implement this function yet, please visit our help section, as you see here under help, and you will be able to find great documentation that actually will walk you through how to enable this function. But let's say we're not going to refund in this case. As you see now, there's a new window that shows up, which asks you for to choosing a reason or any additional comments. So I'm going to choose health issues. Student cannot continue lessons due to injury. And we're going to press confirm the cancellation. And as you see, the membership does get canceled, and now there's a report that will allow us to see all the cancellation reasons. But better yet, what I'm going to be able to do is to click on this membership at any given time and be able to see reasons of cancellation. And as you see here, you will see the reason was a health issue and an additional comment. So your business is very in line of exactly why that person canceled and why that specific membership canceled. And you will be able to run reports based on this, so you can find out all your cancellations, how many were health issues, what percentages were financial, and be able to make educated business decisions according to that. In the past, you had to actually go under notes and under activities to be able to document this, but now we've actually made it easier for you to be able to manage that. Now, the same functionality is also, as I mentioned, available for courses and programs. So if you actually cancel, someone from a specific course or specific program, same option will show up, which will allow you to be able to track the reasons of their cancellation. Now, what you're able to do for all the information that I covered today so far, you will be able to go under help section, as we have great help material written by a colleague, William, from an instructional design. As you see, it's marked under new features in March 2016. You will be able to click on this and you will be able to see all the functions that we talked about today with links to the help class related to that. I'm sure you have other staff members who are interested to learn more about these functions and you want them to actually utilize these functions, but you'll be able to actually send them to this section to be able to learn more about them. For any of the previous features that we've had, such as features we released last month, or specifically what we talked about, just prorating a membership cancellation, we also have documentation regarding to that as well that you will be able to utilize for this specific purpose. Now, now that we've covered some of the main features that were released, I'm just gonna, turn the table to you guys. If you have any questions, please take this opportunity to write the questions, and I'll do my best to be able to answer those. Okay, we received a question from Daniel Sindrick. Daniel, good to see you here. The question is, can clients view family calendars in client account? Yes, they are able to. As long as they have a family login, they will be able to see their entire family online. Now, one thing I know you're going to bring up in regards to improving the family login, we actually have a release next month, which we're going to improve the family login to be able to utilize any of the primary contacts logins as a family login. So they will, a dad, for example, will be able to see all their families at the same time. But the function does support the same view that you saw for families, also for the client side or for the member side. All right. Any other questions? Anything else that I can answer for you guys today? We just received another question from Virginia. The question is, we have two main different programs at our facility. From time to time, students of mine decide to cancel their membership with one, but continue with the others. That is fine, Virginia. You will be able to. The reason of the cancellation is specific to the membership itself, not for the customer. So you will be able to actually, track cancellations specific to the membership. So they will be able to utilize one membership, as active while they're terminating the other membership. Now, Virginia has added more details. However, when it comes to, say, grading the students, still comes up as the list for the old program. I'm not sure if I covered that last part of essentially your comment. Did my answer satisfy your need? Was that basically, was it regarding the cancellation that you brought up? Um, It's Virginia. It seems like Virginia has added actually more comments in regards to the question. She said that they remove the student from one list and move them to another list. This is something that requires a little bit more investigation. It seems like that you have custom lists, so it's possible that if the lists are not getting updated, it's a criteria of the list is not correct. Perhaps it's not taking a look at the status of the membership, and it's still showing up if that seems to be the case. What I would recommend for that specific reason, if you contact our customer support line, they'll be able to actually take a look at your, the lists to be able to better determine that. Now, one last feature that I didn't have not yet covered, and that's because it's really relates to specific type of customer just because of their need to utilizing this function, is denying access for certain customers. For those of you who have gate control or some turnstiles or gate access, one thing, and really in the majority of cases, unmanned front desk areas. It has been requested from us to be able to give you the ability for you to manually deny access for certain customers. And now the reason behind why you want to do that, that's really business related. It could be because someone has not paid their overdue balance for a very long time. Maybe they need to complete certain actions that they haven't done for whatever reason, or you want to just ban them from attending or entering the business. What you're able to do moving forward, for those of you under the Parks and Rec package or function, you will be able to use a new button under the customer called scanning access. And what you're able to do, you can actually prevent the access for the customer and provide a reason. What will happen anytime they scan the card, they will get a message saying access denied. And also, every time you log into their file, you will see an alert here on the bottom right-hand side that will show you that they don't have access to the business. So this is also a function that we released based on requests, which I know many of you guys in the room have asked for in the past. So that is also released as of last night for depending on the package that you're on. As I mentioned briefly, you just touched on this specific feature that we had released again a few months ago. Is this alert function? So for those of you who have yet to utilize this function, we have this available for all databases, no matter of the industry you're from. You can click alerts and build any type of alerts for products, for memberships, or from customers to be able to alert your staff members anytime they enter. So the alert could be due to certain things you have to watch out. Maybe you're looking for a piece of information that hasn't been signed. Maybe they left their certain item at the business and it's been lost and found. You could be utilized for really anything. The opportunities are endless. Could be maybe instructions of how to use a certain function for products in store that you're trying to sell. Maybe promotion messages for your staff, so they have heard of every time you're selling a certain item. So a variety of different options. Again, opportunities are endless here. All right. We're going to basically give you guys a few more minutes. If you have any questions, it's time now for you to be able to ask the questions. Again, you're able to also contact our 24-hour, 24/7 customer support line at any given time to be able to actually ask more questions about these functions and learn how you can utilize this for your business. But also take the opportunity right now if there's any questions about features that I covered today, and since we have some time about previous features that was released on the month of February. Take this opportunity now to be able to ask the questions, and I'll do my best to answer them. Okay, it seems like we've answered all the questions. Well, on behalf of Perfect Mind, I thank you for attending today's webinar. The recording of this webinar will be made available next week on our blog and our basically social media channels. And again, I do promote you guys to continue providing your feedback. It helps us immensely on coming up with features and functionality that's going to help your business and making you more efficient to be able to do more for the community. Um, and till the next webinar, I again thank you guys for attending and see you guys next month.